Fortnite Season 4 trailer details have been leaked already to do with the Battle Pass skins that will be upcoming, how the storyline's going to be developing and what's going to be shown happening in the cinematic trailer. And with us being at a turning point in the storyline now with another Marvel collaboration, the biggest one yet about to hit us, let's just say you don't want to miss anything in today's video, so for that reason make sure you're sticking around and watching the full thing as we break it all down. And on top of that too, you just witnessed a mirror get smashed, which means 7 years bad luck if you don't, so I wouldn't risk it. However, very quickly before we dive into it all, one favour I ask of you guys, considering it takes 2 seconds and is 100% free to do, is enter my creator code FM1 3 digits inside the Fortnite item shop. You guys already know this not only puts a giant smile on my face, but cheers up my pug Gus too, who's been kinda sad about the fact he knows that 70% of all eyes watching right now are not subscribed. With that said, hit the big red button right now as we're on our final push to 2.5 million or 2.5 million subscribers, and after all it only benefits you as I do give different subscribers every single day. So if you ever want to receive something, simply make sure you subscribe to the channel with all notifications turned on, and then comment your Epic Games ID down below and let me know what you'd like to receive, so perhaps you could be gifted like this on screen in front of hundreds of thousands of eyes to see in the next video. But with that said, now enough messing around, I can't wait to tell you guys about the Season 4 intel in today's video, so make sure of course you don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. I'm not, I'm sitting on my back. Don't go anywhere.
Before we go any further, I'm happy to announce that today's video is sponsored by HelloFresh, and I can't wait to tell you guys all about this because it's amazing. HelloFresh, for those that don't know, delivers fresh quality produce from the farm to your door in less than a week, so you can savor summer flavors right from home. HelloFresh allows you to choose from 55 plus weekly options, including seasonal, pre-portioned ingredients picked from peak ripeness, which not only means you're going to be getting maximum taste and nutrition, but all from the comfort of your own home. Believe it or not, you can actually update your delivery address for your vacation or wherever you're staying, so it's entirely catered to your ever-changing schedule. There's literally fresh recipes for everybody, even picky eaters, with the kid-friendly recipes that are picky eater proof, which also at the same time is perfect for families looking to try something new while schools are out for the summer. Despite HelloFresh saving you time and convenience out of your day by being a one-stop shop, believe it or not, it's up to 72% cheaper than dining at a restaurant or grocery shopping overall. Believe it or not, they're focused on also helping you reach your personal goals, such as fitness and well-being, with recipes that make the healthy eating process easy and without sacrificing some of your favourite flavours, which ultimately is the best process to help somebody maintain a healthy lifestyle or diet very easily. And despite being a cheaper alternative to it, cuts down the food waste on average by 25% compared to grocery shopping, buying the things that you don't need. So with all that said, now or before you leave today's video, click the link in the top of the video description or pinned comment down below and go to hellofresh.com and use code FriendlyMachine16 for 16 free meals across 7 boxes and 3 free gifts. Okay, so with all that said, diving straight into our first point, most importantly the progress of this season. As you can see on screen right now, it's currently 58% complete with only 44 days remaining Chapter 3 Season 3. I mentioned in other videos it's unlikely that this date on the Battle Pass when Season 3 is set to end is going to be extended, however it may not mean that Season 4 starts on the 17th as well, as we usually get a 12-hour downtime after the season ends, so it could be September 18th. And of course the reason I say that, with us also moving on to our second point about a live event not happening this season, as we typically don't see one in Season 3 of each chapter. The reason for this is because Epic Games over the summer period are on vacation for a few weeks, hence why we're not getting update 21.40 until this date that Hypex states on screen right now. And despite them coming back with a bang with the Dragon Ball collaboration that literally has been teased and leaked, and data miners or inside people have come out stating about what's going to be upcoming within it, with us also only having progressive map changes last season leading up to then a final development of Thor's hammer, which actually nicely led into the Marvel-based Season Chapter 2 Season 4 showcase within that trailer with all the characters coming onto the island. And despite the same thing happening now in terms of progressive map changes, with the reality tree changing name locations once the roots have spread and actually festered around it for quite some time before an update, which then miraculously changes it. One of the next ones being the Daily Bugle, for instance, at the time of me recording, but it may be changed if you're watching closer to Season 4, but that should only further back up the validity of what's happening. Also with the 0 point being actually connected through aura waves to the reality tree in itself, or both of these factors changing the island, as the 0 point, for those that don't know, is not only shooting off shockwaves, but is also bringing relics to the island for whatever reason is currently unknown. However, I feel we're going to be getting revealed to this more so as the season comes to an end, and of course this is what the scientist has to say about that in the recent voice recording for the vibing quests.
There it is again. Another 0 point energy shockwave, magnitude 7.2. The 0 point has got to be bringing these relics here because it wants us to have them, right? And you didn't hear this from me, but since we're almost friends, now is the time to be worried.
With that nicely moving us on to our third point, I believe the reality tree and the 0 point combined are not a force for good or even singularly, and are perhaps even working against each other. Not only in the trailer did we have this Bloom looking like character, which I want to call a Bloom Queen, which actually looks like this early as a skin concept concept on the surveys that Epic Games have been releasing. If you don't know what I'm referring to, this is all the unreleased skins off the surveys right now, and yes, the Origin and the Sisters were actually on here in Chapter 3 Season 1 before they were implemented into the Chapter 3 Season 2 Battle Pass. The reason I mentioned this character at the end of the trailer now, even though she was shown after Jenna, well, soon after anyways, the live event obviously revealing Jenna for the first time in this silhouette or 0-point form, almost as if we get a look as to the location of where he was, is because, again, looking at the surveys, can we not only not see anything resembling Jenna or what we saw of him in the live event in the slightest, but with him being part of the Imagined Order or the puppet master behind it all, the highest ranked anyways, despite this character that seems to be kinda congratulating Dr. Sloan on progressing through the ranks in the Imagined Order in these particular screenshots that Fortnite have released. Just like Dr. Sloan in the end event cinematic for Chapter 2, I have a feeling that Jenna has something to do with the transition between Chapter 3 and Chapter 4. Again, when that is, I don't know, considering we seem to see 2 less seasons going forward in terms of the chapters progressing anyways. For instance, Chapter 1 went all the way up to Season 10 or X, and then Chapter 2 only went up to Season 8, so that could technically mean, following the same correlation of removing 2 seasons out of each chapter, that this is only a 6-season chapter, but I highly doubt that. And either way, despite whatever route Epic Games want to take, moving on to our 4th point, despite these 2 characters, Jenna and the Bloom Queen, being a huge forefront of the storyline going forward, as again I've referred to this tweet so many times in other videos, but you guys need to be aware of it and really digest what it's like portraying. Despite a data miner on Twitter called Aiko showing his correlation of each chapter's seasons to the prior one, in that chapter a new beginning for Season 1, Season 2 a war between factions, Season 3 were chill. Of course, then moving on to the next season, this not only confirms a Marvel collaboration in some form, but perhaps even an entire battle pass full of skins, one of which we already know is definitely coming to the game. Before I reveal that though, there's even more context to this Marvel collaboration upcoming, as they're following the traits of comic books releasing throughout Season 3 as they did last time, but this was on the Battle Pass tab instead of real life copies. And for those that can't remember, at the end of all of these comic books, once they'd all released or there was no more pages to release teasing the appearance of Galactus and Thor in the Fortnite universe, it said to be continued in Chapter 2 Season 4. Of course, now in terms of the comic books that have released, it's not in-game or on any Battle Pass tab, considering we don't get a scene anymore that's updated or has little small Easter eggs throughout it that we can interact with, which I rarely miss. Let me know down below in the comments if you want these back, I personally do. Despite not everybody having access, then that means in-game to these comic books, of course, they're releasing the real-life copies, 5 of which are the issue amounts in Fortnite X Marvel Zero War, which the plot for this, don't forget, is the Fortnite characters going into the Marvel universe, as the Marvel characters in Chapter 2 Season 4 came to the Fortnite reality, and this time we're looking for an elusive Zero Shard, which will turn the tide between the war going on between the Imagined Order and the Seven, even meaning this isn't over yet. I know Dr. Sloan seemed to get defeated or crushed or killed in this scene from the Collision Live event, but this seems almost too good to be true, to be honest. And again, referring back to the plot of the Fortnite X Marvel Zero War comics themselves, I'm not saying this entire next Battle Pass will be just Marvel characters like we saw in Chapter 2 Season 4, but it also mentions very early on a Marvel character that hasn't come to the Fortnite universe yet, and as you can see from this list of all the Marvel cosmetics, there's a hell of a lot. Literally, like, it takes me a while to scroll through all these, and if you want to see any individually, make sure to pause the video. The character in mention being Shuri, which looks like this on some of the kind of artwork for the Fortnite X Marvel Zero War comics. And speaking of these comic books as well, if they are going the route of either at least half of the skins in the Battle Pass being Marvel characters, and then the rest of them being Fortnite characters, so 4 normal skins and 4 Marvel skins. Of course, we've also seen a version of the normal Hulk, as we already have She-Hulk within the Chapter 2 Season 4 Battle Pass that came, and as you can see, the comic book issue or strip for this is on screen right now, but he has different coloured skin from his normal, usual green angry form. On top of that too, speaking of these comic book strips, of course we can't forget about Spider-Gwen, which nobody's really been talking about, despite a few days after this was initially noticed or released fighting Mary Jane. And with this involving her in the Fortnite universe, now it's only a matter of time she comes to the item shop alongside her male counterpart in the Spider-Verse, being Miles Morales, which everybody seems to stop talking about now. It literally got teased in Chapter 3 Season 2 from the secret skin Prowler, who is Miles Morales' uncle, saying a certain phrase that he says to Miles Morales, implying that he's a skin upcoming in Fortnite. And don't forget, we've seen different variants of Miles Morales to the traditional one that we'd expect to be upcoming, or what people on YouTube have been portraying in the Fortnite X Marvel Zero War comics. This version right here that you're seeing on screen right now, yes, is a version or variant of Miles Morales. And of course, with all the characters being shown within each Battle Pass trailer, not only that introducing them as new skins or advertised for what we can buy when purchasing it or being gifted it or gifting another player it, of course we see these same characters appear for even just a small segment, but all of them entirely in the cinematic trailer, which I'm guessing for this next season upcoming is going to be amazing, considering there's not much to go off with no live event and the reality tree simply changing more name locations and more relics being brought through into the Fortnite reality from the effects of the 0 points magnitude waves. Moving on to our next point, speaking of trailers, however, an entirely new one on that Fortnite may release for a new dynamic of it, or shortly after the release of the season, kind of like what we saw with Zero Build, could be first person, as many people have not only noticed in the files that they've been updating a first person mode or working on it, but believe it or not, we already have a kind of glitch look or early look of what this could look like in game, but applied to now from Chapter 2 Season 2's Device Live event, where players glitched into this mode of Fortnite early. I think this would work really well with Zero Build and give Fortnite a new addictive dynamic for especially players like who only predominantly play first person shooter battle royales like Warzone. But at the same time, then what's building gonna look like? Orange Guy made a concept of it right here, but I really don't know how that would work. And does that then mean we're gonna be getting first person build and no build modes crossing over these different segments of Fortnite? Either way, again, like Hypex stated, I've probably already shown it on screen, but yeah, it's expected considering it's been worked on so much to be coming in Season 4 when it releases or soon after. Moving on in terms of what's upcoming next season, however, which also will be shown in trailer form, I'm guessing, or teased, but not to do with the Battle Pass skins or the season releasing overall. Don't forget, we're going to be going over Spooky Season with Season 4 of Chapter 3. That's right, Fortnitemares 2022 will be occurring again in Season 4 of a chapter, just like we saw Midas's Revenge for Chapter 2 Season 4 when this was initially the season that it landed in. And with a new version of Midas, the Anime Legends one pulled off of the Fortnite surveys, again that we could see in early form, but now is officially announced or revealed that Fortnite have created to come to the game late October. Speaking of what's upcoming in this Fortnitemares event or for it, and no, I'm not saying Midas's Revenge or it's going to be Midas themed entirely, but we know he's not dead, is, as you can see, what Hypex stated on screen right now, another huge boss like the Storm King that we saw in Chapter 2 Season 1, the prior Fortnitemares to the Midas Revenge one, as is currently being worked on to have some sort of goo effects and all different types of things that are definitely going to be interesting to see. Maybe it's an LTM, like I said, like the Storm King, where we can go in and defeat it over and over again and harvest XP or free rewards. And what's interesting about all the kind of physics of the character or the boss that's upcoming with goo and other things is that this character, the Bloom Watcher or Bloom Queen from the Season 3 trailer ending cinematic, actually has goo effects on it if we look at the full skin in concept form on the surveys. All I'm saying is it would be really cool to have this as a Fortnitemares based boss, but I highly doubt they'll do that considering it's too lore related and not just for a limited time Halloween event. If you're excited, make sure to drop a like in this video if you also enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel with all notifications turned on so that you don't miss any more Season 4 leaks, intel based videos. But speaking of where you go to now, interact with anything on screen if you want more, I don't mind. However, most importantly, hopefully I can catch you in the very next video I do post on the channel.